So when you begin your initial writing process with Plantkiller specifically, what is your main focus when you're trying to write a specific song that they've given you or an instrumental?
So it starts with the instrumental, which is usually made or entirely come up, I guess, created by Alex. Sometimes we'll hang out and we'll both kind of put our ideas in, and Breton will be there, or we're gonna, with Muscle Crow, gonna bring in Norm and Dave to try to get all of us brainstorming and put together some masterpiece. But usually I get an instrumental from Alex, and then it becomes just a thought process from there, and I kind of think about all the things that affect society day to day, or just like in pop culture, things that are big issues that we all are really tired of. Just kind of try to find a place for that in the within the album that it'll be, or EP that it'll be in. And each one is a different, I guess, circle of hell. So each one will have correspondence with some aspect that has some relation to what's within that circle of hell. We're going on to heresy next, so it's gonna be a big one.
I love that. So you guys have like a whole running theme with your EPs and albums that you release.
Yeah, there's a concept behind it for sure.
Cool, I never knew that. So could we dive a little into that? What was the first EP theme?
It was Treachery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So each one will follow up. It's 7 stages or 7?
There's 9.
Okay, 9 of them.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning to do them in order and then continue on that theme?
Somewhat. Yeah, it's almost like a reverse telling of the Divine Comedy, like Dante's Inferno. So instead of Dante coming down, descending through the levels of hell, it'll be hell ascending through the levels to get up to earth, and that's when it comes to us, and then we'll go from there, I guess.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you guys have had an evolution too as a band. You like having, is Noah a part of the writing process still with the new stuff that you guys are working on? 'Cause I know that there's been lineup changes in the past 2 years.
Yeah, as much as he can be, being across the country. He is also a very busy individual as well. Trying to make it out there is just as tough as making it in Kelowna. So a lot of it is little ideas here and there, and I'm not sure the kind of correspondence he has with Alex, just in their personal messages, but he'll have ideas that he pops out every once in a while. He helps us a lot with merch, which is a big part of it. So yeah, he just does everything he can. I'm really proud of Noah. He's a great bassist and an awesome bandmate.
I love it because you yourself are, I always see you doing either features with friends bands that we know, or you're constantly putting out these songs with the 2 bands that you're in. And it surprises me because being in one band is hard enough as a vocalist, trying to like focus and hone yourself in on that, and then to have 2. Do you ever find it hard to like differentiate the writing style between the 2 bands?
At first, yeah, it was a bit complicated because of the major differences between, I guess, down tempo or beat down deathcore to metalcore. Metalcore is a lot more pop culture centric. It's very easy to rack up fans, or I guess not just fans, but people who are more interested in that kind of music than it is within such a small niche as deathcore, especially a subgenre of deathcore. But yeah, we're always trying to, like innovate our styles and change everything. Just, yeah.
I love it because I find that there's like, well, first of all, who created the name Muscle Crow? Because I absolutely love it.
So it was actually our good pal Ryan Brown.
The other guitar player.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He had his own project. I don't know if it's still going or not. Whale Shark.
Yes.
And we love the guy so much. He's a great bro. He initially had hired me on to do vocals for Muscle Crow. And he was not sure about the name. And right away, me and Alex were like, we love that. Because it's also kind of an excuse for like, Alex and I turned it into like an excuse to hang out, maybe have a beer or two, and watch a different Russell Crowe movie every time. You know, it was Gladiator, 3:10 to Yuma, like just all these different Russell Crowe movies. And then I sit there with my notepad and I'm, you know, just typing things out, getting it all going. And that just kind of stems, and I build lyrics from there, from direct quotes or for just like full on vibes from Russell Crowe. So
I love it, because that's one thing I've noticed is that you guys have like a theme, or like there's not a gimmick or a shtick, but like the videos, the content you guys put out, like there's the one where it's like Western-y themed.
Yeah.
And then you have like the bedroom party scene kind of vibe with your friends, and it kind of like it almost like getting to have that release of humor.
Yeah.
Kind of just makes it so much more enjoyable.
Yeah. It's essentially, it's intentionally cringe.
It is. One of my favorite songs is what is it called again? It's the one based off the Gladiator.
Oh, Are You Not Entertained? Yeah.
Yes, it is so good. Even the guitar riffs, everything about it is just so solid, and that's why I'm like, it's so intriguing to see kind of the different dynamics between the bands, even though it's two of the same main members.
Yeah.
Which is so cool to see you guys kind of branch out differently, because I've known you guys since, I want to say, for like 5 years now almost. And the sound itself from Plantkiller's, I want to say the first album that I heard, to what you guys have recently put out with the last album, is totally different.
Yeah. It's almost intentional, because as you climb through the layers of hell, obviously when you go down through the levels of hell, it's supposed to get more terrifying and more horrific, kind of terrible. But in our aspect, it's hell coming up. And even though we're going through different layers, it's just all hell anyways. So we just want to make it more and more terrifying as it climbs those rings to come up and greet us.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's, as a vocalist, like as a metal vocalist too, you have to be on top of your vocals too. You can't, like, you have to be constantly practicing and coming up with new techniques. And there's some techniques that you do that I'm just like mind blown. Like I can't even figure out how to and comprehend how to like get your mouth to move and your tongue in the right way to hit some of those sounds. How long has it taken you to like master those techniques alone, and are there any other techniques that you're currently like working on?
To be honest, it's all over. It's probably been my whole life that I've been practicing just sound effects, you know, from as a kid, you're shooting your machine guns or shooting pistols and rocket launchers and everything. But I also had Hot Wheels, so a lot of it was just like practicing different sound effects growing up as a kid. It sounds really like funny and silly, but honestly, I believe that's probably what got me started in all that. And then just my love for singing, I kind of just almost combined the two. I love video games, and I have a pretty intense level of ADHD when I'm not medicated. So it turns me into like this kind of sound machine. When I'm sitting there, I hear noises in the background, I copy it. And oh, that sounds interesting. And somebody else in the other room's going, what is wrong with this guy over there? And it's just, you know, COVID, a lot of COVID was me just practicing because there were no shows. Everything was shut down. So it went from the Treachery and Fraudulent was released just after, I guess, COVID or mid-COVID. And then we moved into Violence after. And we've been working on Violence and Treachery right near the end of Treachery is when we kind of started working, or sorry, not Treachery, Fraudulent. We had started working on Violence. And there was a kind of transition period where we put out two songs that we had started two songs that sounded like they should have been from the previous EP, and my vocals had already evolved into I started listening to more like Infant Annihilator than I had previously. I heard of Worm Shepherd. I'd been listening to Lorna Shore some, and even just like staying involved in like new releases, like listening and kind of just trying to copy or just like have a sense of how to do that, even in my own way, make it sound how I would sound if I tried to make that noise. But yeah, Alex is a huge help with that, because sometimes I'll do a take and I'll say, man, that really sucked. I did not like that. And then Alex says, hold on. And then we play it back, and it actually does sound good, because it sounds different in your own ears than in a microphone, right? So it's all about the waiting game sometimes.
Do you ever, like as a vocalist, I know like we're probably the hardest members of the band on ourselves.
Yeah.
Do you struggle with that constantly, or have you been able to slowly let those feelings dissipate and become more comfortable in the studio when you're working?
Oh yeah. Over the years, like my first time, I don't remember it vividly with Alex, but I do remember where I was, and it was actually not even 100 meters away from where we're at right now, just around the corner. So that comparing that to where we're at now, there's a lot more fluidity between like just nailing takes and our efficiency with what we get to finish in a whole day. Like it used to take us maybe 3-4 hours maximum, I guess, to like finish all the vocals and layering and everything. And Alex and I have been able to, since we've been working at this since 2019, early 2019, we've been able to kind of whittle it down to like a good hour and a half, 2 hours if we got a beer or two, Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to have that change over time.
I love that, because it is cool to see your guys' dynamic on stage together too, because I don't want to say you two are the members that are like the core members, but you guys are realistically the core members who do the writing and like as the front man and the backbone of it. Mm-hmm. Do you guys ever feel like you're going to change, not necessarily change the sound that you guys have, but as you're evolving through these layers of hell that you describe, it's inevitably going to get to like a softer version of hell? Do you ever think that you're going to add like clean vocals into any of your songs with Plantkiller or Muscle Crow?
There's kind of been a thought of adding the cleans every once in a while, but it for me, it has to be perfect, because I'm very picky with especially how I sound. I don't want to release something that I'm like, really questioning. Especially since I'm actually not nowhere near as comfortable singing than I am screaming. For whatever reason, making, almost demonic noises or monstrous noises is way less nerve-wracking to me than actually singing. So I guess it kind of it'll take the right track. We almost want to do a ballad for Muscle Crow, which is where I think I'm going to start. We want to do something that's a little bit more softer for Muscle Crow, and then maybe if that's nice and I'm comfortable with that, then we can figure out how we can fit it into Plantkiller.
That'd be really cool to hear, because that's what I love about listening to Muscle Crow. Is like Plantkiller, it's almost like if you're a Plantkiller fan, you know what you're going to get, because Plantkiller delivers what the Plantkiller does.
Yeah.
But Muscle Crow, it seems like there's no barriers.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to write a comical song, or if you wanted to write a ballad or something like that, you'd be able to have that freedom.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of like I really enjoy about watching Muscle Crow and the growth that you guys have, is it's like it kind of cool to see you guys and be free from I don't want to say like a genre blocking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like Alex does a ton of different genres, and I think that would be cool to see like maybe some cleans, and then all of a sudden just like Thor comes in with that boom, you know what I mean? And like I think it'd just be, it's like that's what I love about music, is there's no barriers. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one thing I've struggled with the last, like personally as a vocalist for the last 2-3 years, is like sticking within that genre. Absolutely. And trying to deliver what people wanted Storm the Empire to sound like. And now I'm like, I have no creative process on what the instrumentals are going to sound like.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of going into things blind now, and the boys are playing in different time signatures, and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
Let's have some fun. There's two drummers writing the stuff now.
Yeah.
So let Andy and Josh do their thing and Norm as well. And I'm just kind of like, I want to take it in a whole different level, as where I don't want to get heavier necessarily vocally. I kind of want to like allow my actual vocal range to shine versus trying to like scream, because I know I'm not a good screamer. Like I have my two ranges.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel that's like been my biggest hindrance as a vocalist, is like trying to push myself how to become a better screamer. Like, what's been the biggest challenge for you as a vocalist to get to where you are today?
Honestly, the lack of venues in Kelowna, probably. I know it has nothing to do with me being a screamer, but it does. In all totality, you end up in a place where you either play a Wednesday night at an extremely small venue. No disrespect to the venue, it's what we have to work with right now. But all the bigger venues, they charge a lot more, and then they're always booked on the weekends. So getting that just actual practical work in is really important, in my opinion. You can practice, play jams all day long, but if you have nerves on stage, it all goes to hell. So as long as you're able to, get that actual work in on stage and have the feedback from people, they come up to you and they give you that extra little morale boost. They help you out with they buy your merch, and you're like actually feeling good about it. The more you get into each show one after another, it doesn't have to be, every week or every month even, but like 6, 7, 8 shows a year, that's awesome. And that's really honestly all you need, in my opinion.
It's a good way to look at it. I think a lot of people tend to put like this like pressure on themselves that like as artists nowadays we have to get out there constantly, be on the road.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. If you're good with marketing and doing a handful of shows a year and making your sales off that and growing online still, like you're still growing. And I think that's where a lot of things, like as musicians, we're kind of led down the wrong path initially. And then we have to make like 10 years of failures to finally see like, oh, this is what it actually entails. And that's kind of why I like studying with musicians, because in my opinion, as a musician, it's one of the hardest industries to get into and not just like completely get screwed over by and lose your drive to do it. Because for a lot of years, I lost my drive just because of the this weird concept in my mind of I had to deliver a specific sound because that's what people wanted.
Yeah.
And not being creative and letting myself just write what I wanted to write. So I find that that's one thing we all kind of battle in the musician industry, is like we have this weird misconception of how we're supposed to start the industry, our careers and stuff. And it's like, you're never too old to put music out.
No, never.
Or write music. And like right now we're in the perfect time to be able to do it ourselves independently without like having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in studio time. But we're also in like the hardest time to ever get anyone to pay attention to you. And people's attention spans are a second long.
Yeah.
Do you handle the social media for the band, or
occasionally we'll have like a post that I'll make. I'll usually pitch ideas to Alex and run them through him before he confirms whether it's a good idea or tells me why he thinks it isn't,
Fair
just
enough.
so that I'm not throwing something out on the page and everybody's like, what does this mean? But a lot of the social media is usually Alex. And then if he's busy, he'll ask me to do it. I'll write up a format, pass it by him. I'll throw it back up, and that's done.
Do you guys find social media as a weird beast to manage as a band?
I think certain platforms for sure. Because of how many new platforms there are, it's hard to like hop on the next one, like with TikTok being basically the number one way to kind of like put yourself out there and get the most eyes on it. It's very hard when you've never done something like that before, especially, I don't know how it is that I'm not comfortable in front of a camera, but 100 eyes is a different story. Yeah, it's a lot of the social media aspect is very confusing sometimes as Facebook fades out and TikTok comes in. Facebook is like networking for bands and not so much collecting fans. Whereas now Instagram is collecting fans and showing everybody what you're all about. And then TikTok is where you get your ads out, essentially. It's like free ad space.
It's a weird thing too, and I steered clear of TikTok forever because I was like, in my mind I was like, it's going to go away because so these two are the biggest, like Instagram and Facebook, and that was me with my old man mentality. Was like, if I steer, we'll stay away from it. And I secretly started a TikTok for my photography and my videography on the 1st.
Yeah.
So I'm just at the month point now. And I can tell you just from the experiment I've been running without anybody like personally that I know and following it or even knowing about it, the amount of views you can get on there is crazy.
It's mind-blowing, yeah.
But at the same time, it's totally different content. And I think that's where I'm slowly starting to understand is Facebook is meant for your long spiel and your photos. You want to write a big paragraph story that people are going to stop and read, Facebook. Instagram is they want to see you behind the scenes. They want to see you recording and like being funny and stuff. TikTok is the one I struggle with because it's the one that I am most uncomfortable with, and that's talking to the camera about personal stories and things like that. And that's what they want to see. And that's what social media is all pushing towards, which is they want to be educated. They want to how-tos, like, and as a person who's just like, I just want to make music and make art. It's really awkward for me to stand in front of a camera and be like, check me out, or do like the trendy thing. So like, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. I feel like if you want to do it without people knowing, make a band TikTok. Because it's super easy to just meet new young people. It's a lot easier than Facebook and Instagram, but like to create a genuine basis, I think like we all have to like, I think it's inevitably going to turn back to where we have to have our own websites or like our own, what are they called? All the gamers use them.
Oh, like a Twitch?
Not Twitch, but Discord.
Oh,
where you build your community. Like bands are going to have this like this community-based thing where you have to join. And my biggest fear with that is like the subscription factor that like influencers have. Trying to do that as a band is hard. Right? Because they're already trying to beg people to listen to your music, let alone like, hey, pay for our content. So I feel like that's where our biggest struggle point right now in the next like year or 2 years as musicians is trying to like figure out where we fit because the industry is completely failing. And we've seen that in the last year.
For sure,
Live and like touring has gone down in America by like 40%. Like a lot of big artists aren't even willing to perform in the States anymore because it costs too much.
Exactly.
Even for small bands like us to tour a 5-day tour, you're looking at, if you don't have people come to your shows, like you can lose a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's out of your pocket. And that's happened. That happened to us recently, like on my hip hop tour. I lost like $1,200 just because of lack of shows, but that's what happens when you're an independent artist. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. So what's been your biggest or most memorable moment being a vocalist?
Okay. I actually have an answer right away for this one, which I love because it was like my dream when I started Plantkiller. With Alex, we met one day at, I think it was Fernando's or something like that before they shut down, and there was a nice show, I think it was The Unending and Ugly or something like that. Anyways, there was a few bands playing, and I met him across, and he was just sitting across the table from me, and he just asked me, who's your favorite vocalist? And I was like, oh wow, this guy's like, he knows I'm into metal. That's crazy. I mean, you're at a metal show, what do you expect? But it was always my dream after that moment. I was like, maybe this guy can be like my like bandmate. And just like somewhere in there, he'll be able to work on. Little did I know he was a full-on music producer and did everything in between. Even sings a bit too. The guy's super talented. But it was always my dream to play shows with like Angel Maker, you know, or like another big band like eventually Job for a Cowboy, or like open for a Cannibal Corpse somewhere or something like that, you know. But at the top of my list, because I loved them so much at the time, was Angel Maker. And a couple of years ago when we released Violence, I think it was just before we released Violence, we had a show with Angel Maker and I Declare War, and we opened for them, and we were unbelievably hyped. We went a little overboard on the social media thing, because we didn't really know. We'd never played with any like massive bands so intimately before. And so we were like, guys, help us. You got to tag these guys and let them know, and please. And then it actually came to fruition. And from the beginning of hearing, we may have a shot at playing with Angel Maker because they're still looking for an opener, I had the best feeling in my head. I was like, we need this. This is my dream from the beginning, pre-COVID, let's go, you know? So it happened. And that's not the end of my dreams, but it was definitely a big achievement for me, for sure.
I love that. Those are my favorite kind of stories to hear.
Yeah.
Is getting to hear like the little successes that are massive to people. What's your next goal? Like what's something that you would love to achieve personally as either a musician or as a person?
Honestly, I want to be able to put out, it's not on me. It's definitely like a thing Alex and I should talk more about and kind of figure out timing wise. But when it comes to releasing EPs or albums, I want to try to do them every 1.5 to 2 years, hopefully closer to the 1.5 year mark. But our last album almost took us 3 years. But that's also, there's a lot of things in the way. You know, Muscle Crow was in there at some point, putting the brakes on a little bit. Alex has his own 3,000 projects he works on. And then there's just everybody else in between trying to get everything to work together. So there are speed bumps every now and again, but that's probably my next biggest goal, is just to like get the on target scheduled album drops, increase our ad revenue a little bit, hopefully with some new merch lines. I've been doing a little bit of handmade designing for some Muscle Crow and Plantkiller stuff.
Oh, sweet.
So eventually just release something that really pops off, because we've got some really good ideas. We've got a couple of demos in the works right now. I've got like, I think 3 more Plantkiller instrumentals I got to write lyrics to, and I think 3 or 4 Muscle Crow instrumentals I got to write to. So pretty busy future coming up here.
Do you ever find it hard to do you have to be in a certain mindset to write vocals?
I think so, for sure. Especially since I have ADHD, it's very hard sometimes for me to like actually keep focused on it. Because if I hear somebody call my name behind me, or somebody's playing an interesting game or something on TV and I hear a noise, you know, if I'm not medicated, that's where my brain goes and it keeps me distracted. But I've been really good at it, so only occasionally.
A 3-year process to put the album out. It sounds like it took us that long too.
Yeah.
And there's like, that's the thing, is there's a lot of things in between. Like we lost a lot of members and then having to rewrite songs and pardon me. It definitely is like, it's one thing I talked about is like a lot on the show is as bands, we have this, it's a marriage, but with like 4 dudes.
Yeah.
And they have marriages and kids and families. And it's really hard to get like, since we're not teenagers in high school writing like music anymore, it's very difficult for us to be able to get that time there.
Yeah.
But when it is there, those moments are like, it's absolute bliss. Like I haven't got to sit in the studio with the boys for easily a couple months just because of work schedules and everything, and getting to go and record the other day. We recorded what is going to be our next single, and like actually finally get working towards these things. It's like, oh, yes, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
That it's like when you're not making progress in the music aspect of the career, it definitely feels like it's defeating. And that's where I have a hard time. Is like, hey, if I'm not focusing on recording and writing, what can I be doing? Mm-hmm. And that's where it's like, hey, you got to learn the social media game, and how do we properly network to a new crowd? And like, it's constantly changing. So it's not like it used to be when I was like growing up and writing music per se. Like, because I was like, I've been writing music since I was like 10.
Yeah.
So I've been performing since 12. So like before, I had a band that got really popular strictly because we were young and had a lot of friends in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work like that when you grow up.
No.
And that's where it's like, it's really difficult to like, because I feel like your best creative juices flow once you hit your like 30s to 50s, realistically. Like that's where you're emotionally stable enough, you're mentally stable enough, and like mature enough to be like, oh, okay, this is what art means to me. It's not just me being like angsty and putting it out, especially as musicians.
Totally.
Because now I have like I feel like I have to say something important or I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
So if I'm writing songs, for example, like if there's not a message that I want to say to the crowd and it's not being inspired by a song, I'm not writing to it.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult because the boys are like, hey, well, we've got these songs. And I'm like, I'm not feeling inspired to write to that yet. Like, that one's on the back burner. Yeah. Keep going. Give me something good. So do you ever find that you struggle with that?
Yeah. You know, a lot of keeping things like prioritized is mostly the struggle with that, because Alex has so many projects going, and then I don't really have all that much, and I've only been practicing since about making music since 2019, practicing since about 2015. So it hasn't been super long for me, but just even still getting into the rhythm of that sometimes, you know, is the struggle that I have with that.
I think it's kind of interesting that, I don't want to say you're like a late bloomer into it, but you got into it in such a unique time of the music industry. Because I'm like, 2015, I was just getting out of it. I had just gotten out of doing hip hop and touring and all that, and didn't get back into it until like 2019. And it was like, that time was super easy for bands to get seen.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is so hard now for bands to get seen, strictly because everything is so flooded.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's the most annoying thing for right now. Because like you said, you want to be able to put a song out that pops, but it's like, you guys have so many songs that pop. How do you get them seen? That's the issue. Is like, how do we get our music seen to the people that need to see it?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where it's like, I hate how social media changed to like, you have to understand what SEO is and like how SEO works, because what we know is how it worked with hashtags and stuff does not apply anymore. Yeah. So now you got to look at it like Google, where you got to learn all these stupid things just to be able to put music out, and hopefully somebody hears it. That is, it's very draining, and that's where I'm like, I love writing music for people, and then you finally get to go and have that connection face to face, like you're saying at shows.
Yeah, totally.
And you're like, I don't care about the social media aspect. Yeah. That one person right there who is like smiling at me is happy, right? Like, that's what matters. And like, that's why I like getting to travel, because you get to meet new people.
Absolutely.
And Muscle Crow is about to go on your guys' first tour. Mm-hmm. Are you excited?
I'm very excited, yeah. I love doing the Muscle Crow stuff. We've only, I guess, played the one show as of now, but it was a double duty show, so Alex and I both felt real good afterwards. And the mids are a lot easier to sustain, the mid-level vocals, in comparison to when I'm doing low gutturals or high screeches all the time, you know, or tunnel throat vocals or anything in between. The Muscle Crow kind of style is a lot easier to maintain and sustain through like an hour, you know, or 25-minute half-hour set. Whereas like if you're playing deathcore, by the end you sound like Corey Taylor. and you can't. There's no way in hell unless you've been practicing and trying to make sure that you're clean and you're treating your throat real nice. And yeah, but who's got time for that?
I really enjoy the sound that you put off with Muscle Crow.
Thanks.
Like that, I really gravitate. Not that I don't, like I love Plantkiller's music, but I really gravitate more towards Muscle Crow with my own personal taste.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I'm a metalcore guy, but there's something about your vocals when I first heard the first track, Are You Not Entertained, when Alex showed me that and was like, hey, can you play guitar for us? And I was like, this is Thor? I was so confused because I'm so used to your like Danny Filth almost high-esque screams, like, yeah, and then you got your like, and then you get this beautiful mid-range too, and I'm like, man. And it's crazy because like most vocalists steer towards one. They don't have like a big diverse range unless you're like Will Ramos or like the guys who genuinely are meant to be vocalists. I feel you fall into that Will Ramos line where you're meant to be a vocalist. You're not.
Thanks.
You're not meant to like, you don't need to play guitar. Like,
Yeah.
you're meant to front a band. Like you see you on stage and your technical ability as a vocalist, and you're like, this dude's got it. And that's the thing is like it's difficult. Like you're saying in a small town, like how are you supposed to get out there and practice constantly? So it's nice to see that you guys are hitting the road because I think Muscle Crow will pop off. And then Plantkiller will pop off because of Muscle Crow, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
realistically, it's
Totally.
the same band.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like,
Almost,
it's
yeah.
the same core group, and it's just that it's what you two write.
Yeah.
And then you get the other members and that add their flavors to it, right? Because like Ryan's, his guitar riffs, trying to learn his stuff,
Yeah.
it took me at least a month and a half to even comprehend what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because it's nowhere near my style. And I was like, that's why when he asked me to play again, I was like, honestly, bro, I don't think I can do it because like trying to memorize it the first time and then not playing with it, I was like, I'm never going to learn that again. Like I can barely memorize Storm the Empire stuff at this point. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
So like I was like, he needs to play those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that you couldn't have a different guitar player playing Ryan's stuff
Totally.
and it sounded the same.
Yeah, unless it's Alex, who is exactly the perfect, they worked so good together. They kept each other in line, even though we're all silly little gooses. They kept each other in line and made each other better, even with you're off by by a hair, you're just off. And then you would make them do it again and you would hit it and you would get it. And shout out to instrumentalists, man, because I do not have that level of skill with musical instruments. I'm a vocal fold kind of guy. That's it.
I love that.
So
when you're sitting at home and Alex has given you an instrumental,
yeah.
do they ever have a structure in their mind that you hear differently and you present the vocals and they're like, oh, okay, we have to change what we thought was the verse is now the chorus because that's where the vocals fit?
No.
Or do they just give you a fresh slate and say, okay, you pick what the verse is, what the chorus is?
Essentially, yeah. It'll mostly be just like wide open, like free territory for me to run. But a lot of it is like, he'll just give me the instrumental, I'll write to it, and then when I get to his house, if the lyrics don't fit, I'll switch something up. Oh, this would sound good, and I'll show him the lyrics, and I'll see, how do you think this sounds? And then if there is a spot where we're like, oh, this could have actually a really nice like chorus here, then we'll throw that in. And then it's not just repetition chorus, it's like A, B kind of stuff. Or something like almost like dueling vocals. Like one part's high and one part's in lows, or vice versa.
Okay, so when you're sitting at it, you're also picturing your layers as well before you're going into the studio? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So I feel like I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
Because like I go into studio and I'm like, I have no idea what the backings should be or anything, because I just always hear it as like what I would do live. Mm-hmm. Which is where I think like talking with other vocalists and their ideas and how they do it it's kind of cool, because I spoke with a lot of different guitar players, but like stepping back from guitar and trying to focus on being a better frontman, that's a whole other skill level that I've never really had to focus on, because I've always been behind the guitar.
Right, yeah.
Where I was thankful when we had Cole, because Cole is such a great frontman. He's so
Such a
high
beauty.
energy. Like you two are both like that. you know what I mean? Like that front power, but like, sadly, even him, like we just like, the way we wanted the music to go just doesn't work sometimes. And that's trying to like write something that I know is going to replace what people are expecting. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm like, hey, I think I need to step my skill level up to be able to hit where you guys are.
For sure.
Because it's definitely something I've never focused on. As a clean singer, I've taken lessons and done all that, but like as a screamer, I wasn't really a screamer until I like lied to Storm the Empire to get in the band. They were like, "You know how to scream?" I was like, "Yeah, totally."
Totally.
No idea, dude. It was just like the grossest sounding scream, but like I dedicated myself to that.
Yeah.
And I did it, and now I can do them, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like I know how to properly scream now. But the first like handful of shows were terrible. Our first show was absolutely horrendous.
It happens,
and we played the Mary Irwin Theater.
Oh wow.
Our very first show, and I was like, it sounded garbage. Good enough that Jonathan from The Unending, thankfully, was like, hey, well, I'll record you, but I find that it's an intimidating position to be in.
Oh, totally.
Like I enjoy being a guitar player, but like I had to do the last show we did in the last tour we did with the band tour was the New West to Bullies just after their fire, and then we played somewhere else down there. I can't remember on the top of my head, but the Bully show I snapped my string like the second song in.
Oh yeah.
And because I'm playing on a Floyd Rose, there's no replacing the string, and I don't have a backup on tour because it just takes up so much space. So I looked at Josh and I'm like, it's all you, bro. Like you have to remember, you've learned the songs. It's all you. I'm putting this down until the C songs, and I got to pick up the mic. Yeah. And in that moment, I realized that's where I was meant to be. Yeah. Like I'm not meant to play guitar for the band anymore. I started as a vocalist, and I was meant to be the vocalist, and I was scared to do that. So I hid behind the guitar for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I trust someone enough to play the guitar. The boys know what they're doing. We need a front man.
Yeah.
So. But that's where it's like my mentality as a vocalist now is changing, because I feel right now is the perfect time for us to be writing something with a message, especially with everything going on in the world. So it's like trying to voice that message in the proper way. Yeah. So that it hits people properly versus just being like noise out there right now. I feel like that's what a lot of things are right now. It's just noise.
Totally.
So I think that it's like that's where I enjoy Plantkiller with the theme, because then you don't ever have that block of like you can just work towards that theme, and then you have that like freedom of Muscle Crow. Do you ever think that you'll do something that's not along metal lines? Like would you ever want to be in a band that was not as metal but maybe like hardcore still?
Possibly. If anything, really, it would probably be somewhere along I don't know, maybe like a folk or like a rock kind of area. I don't know really much about those genres other than I've got a few bands that I like to listen to that are really inspiring vocally for me, especially with like all their melodies and everything. Like the Backseat Lovers, they're awesome. I love those guys. Not very metal whatsoever, but I love the melodies. I love the whole vibe that they give off. And other like Super Heaven, really love Deftones, going more into like the alt kind of rock area. That's something that I would like to do if anything. But that'll be, if anything, down the line quite a bit. So
I love that you brought up Deftones, because that's exactly where I'm going more with. Yeah. Is more Chino-esque, less screaming. Like totally. I love what, like I want to say, Around the Fur, White Pony, Chino. You know what I mean? Like I want to bring that, where he's got those like soaring, odd sounding vocals, and then all of a sudden just like punches you with the high screams. Yeah. And I think that's like what the boys are writing right now. It's this very Tool, Porcupine Tree, early Deftones, and it's like, it's weird. It's not Storm the Empire at all, which was like metalcore, which I always was focused on. Yeah. It's totally different, and I'm always nervous to put it out as Storm the Empire. I've been like, guys, we have to rebrand. Yeah. Like, this is not Storm the Empire. We have, and then they're like, but it is, because it's the same members. Totally. So it is kind of weird. Like, that's why I like music. We don't have these limits. and like even you wanting to go to a different genre will sometime potentially would be a cool thing. I think folk would be like a wicked idea. I love folk so much, and like I listen to so many different genres that actually influence my metal, and one of that is like European music, because it's like got that medieval classic sound to it.
Yeah,
that's what
tavern
inspires.
stuff.
Yeah, and that's what inspires like the rhythms that I do in
Yeah.
metalcore, because it's not. I'm not a good breakdown or heavy guitar player. I'm melody based.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where, like, I don't know. I love Alex's style because he has so many different styles that he can work into whatever you guys write.
Yeah.
And then your ability as the vocalist to just have this complete freedom with the range that you have. I feel like I can't wait to see what you guys write moving forward as Muscle Crow. Where are you guys hitting on tour?
We're going to be playing in Kelowna, and then Kamloops and Chilliwack, and I believe in Vancouver as well. Really bad with dates and locations, but I've got them all written down somewhere.
I'm the same way.
So yeah, we got I think 4 locations we're gonna do, four shows.
That's awesome.
It's really big, honestly, as a metalcore band to have some shows out there where there's a lot more dense of a population, especially since when we started Plantkiller, we played 3 shows and then COVID happened. And our 3rd show was at Pat's Pub in Vancouver. And then that was that for the rest of COVID, you know, so.
Yeah, because your guys' first show back was when I booked, I think, at what was it called? Runaways? Before Runaways, whatever it was, before Runaways.
Yeah.
And we had that show, and it was so fun. And it was like, it was cool to see the music scene come back. And then it's like, now it's so flooded again. It's like so hard to get into any of the venues because we have none. That I'm stoked to see that you guys are leaving the Okanagan to go. Kamloops is thriving metal. Are you playing the Chill House in Chilliwack?
I believe so. That
Wicked
sounds
venue.
familiar.
Yeah, wicked venue. So, and like Vancouver is probably a journeyman show, so you know that Colton's gonna go hard because he's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see like the group of friends that we've had since the beginning. Now, like we brought Colton with Paramnesia down, and we played at Runaways, and now he's in Opal and Sky, and they're about to hit the States and go to Europe, and it's like it's possible.
Yeah,
Where it's all possible for all of us. There's a shining eye watching the BC music scene ever since Spirit Box got picked up.
Yeah, totally.
And Spirit Box is not slowing down.
Yeah.
So people are like, what else is in BC? Opal and Sky just got picked up, and you're like, okay, Angel Maker's making it huge. It's like, just keep grinding. And I think that's the thing is, Rob McLaren said it best. Rob from High Horse and Lakeman, is that bands either have a 2-year shelf life, a 10-year shelf life, and if you make it past that 10 years, you've made it. Like that is, you've made it. So realistically, you guys are creeping. Plantkiller's getting close to that 10-year mark.
Yeah, we're at, there'll be 7 this year, so.
You know what I mean? You're getting 3 years away, and that's usually, once you've hit that 10 years is when things start to finally start rolling.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing to accept as a musician, is you got to put in so much back effort, as where a lot of the other like industries you can get away with a handful of years of experience. It's like music, you got to put in like at least 20 years, 10 to 15 years of struggling, which is kind of really makes you see who wants it and who doesn't.
Yeah, it's character building, right?
Yeah.
And if it's not character building, then it's kind of just like, it kind of weeds out the ones who weren't meant to be there in the first place. And not to say that like people aren't good musicians or whatever, and they
No, just
belong,
not meant to
but-
perform.
Exactly, right? Or they have a different role within the music scene, you know.
And that's one thing that I kind of I had realized over the last few years, is that it's not so much me playing on stage anymore versus me behind the scenes, and like speaking with emerging artists and other emerging artists to help inspire the next generation. Because my biggest fear with like AI music and AI art is, are these kids going to pick up an instrument, be influenced enough to play music, or are they just going to be like, I'm happy with whatever I'm given?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because music is we've had it since we were cavemen. Like drums, pounding on drums as tribes. Like it's not something we can lose. That, to me, that is the core of humanity. And it's cool to be the commanders of that.
Yeah, it feels good.
Besides music, what other kind of hobbies do you have?
You know, a lot of my hobbies are performed right here sitting in at this desk. I play a lot of video games, but I also love writing lyrics, poetry, kind of stuff like that. Nothing ever really gets released unless it's Plantkiller or Muscle Crow or something special requested, you know. But a lot of it is also I borrow a special iPad and pen, the Apple Pencil or whatever, and I've been drawing logos and just hand drawing designs, pictures, new ideas and stuff for like concepts of bands that I have good ideas for and whatnot, and hopefully planning to put that onto either, you know, shirts or actually put it into another band that wants the name. I'll just give it to them, you know. I'm not looking for money or anything. I just think it's really cool that it's something that I've made and I'm proud of. So
it's really cool. Graphic designing is a challenging skill, especially doing logos.
Yeah,
like
I'm brand new at it, so I don't know jack squat about it, but it is fun. It is a lot of detailed and like very fine line work. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's cool to see. Like, do you have any other artistic skills that you use besides drawing and music? Like, do you paint at all?
No, I don't paint. I mostly draw, sketch, write.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I find that there's always, if you're a creative in one aspect, you tend to have a range of skills that you have.
Totally.
And drawing is one that I always say when I talk with painters or tattoo artists and stuff, is it boggles my brain how they can envision something in their head and put it on paper, and it's so amazing.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Like, I'm good at looking at something and tracing, like not tracing it on top, but being able to visually look at something and then do it onto paper.
Yeah.
So to come up with something from my mind is very it's intimidating.
Yeah.
And you see what people do and you're like, holy, how do you even comprehend that? And like diving into photography a lot lately. Like, I've always done photography, but like being like, I want to do this. This is what I enjoy doing because it keeps me mentally here.
Yeah, I get that.
Because I'm always so focused on the future, and it causes me so much anxiety.
Yeah.
That like, oh, I'm gonna go do photos today, and I'm like, I sit in the moment and take 600 photos of birds.
Yeah.
And I go home and I'm like so calm and relaxed, and I'm like, this is something that I've been missing.
Yeah.
It's just something for me that I don't really have to necessarily like ask for approval of other people, or like, is this good enough?
Yeah.
It's just me for me.
Totally.
And I find that like art is one that I don't do enough. And like you said, like you're enjoying it, and it's like those are the things that really matter.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day is what we're happy with. So it's kind of cool to see that you do artwork as well. And video games. What kind of video games are you into?
I used to be into a lot of first-person shooters. I started really like getting into video games with like Call of Duty Modern Warfare way back in 2007, I think, and then Modern Warfare 2 and whatnot. But I slowly but surely grew out of the first-person shooter genre and moved more into like third-person survival, crafting, stuff like that. I love racing games as well. I've always loved that. And ever since like, I think 2004, I got my first Xbox, like the big black and green one. And I had Colin McRae Racing.
Oh, so good.
You could like hit a berm too hard and your wheel comes off and you got to limp it to the finish line. And I've always loved cars, like driving. That's probably one of my my big dream jobs would be like a rally racer.
I love rally.
Yeah, that'd be so
funny that you
sick.
bring that up.
Just to bouncing the rev limiter off the end of it while you're flying through the air over a bunch of people's heads. That'd be awesome.
It's funny that that's one thing that me, you, and Josh all have in common is we love racing.
Yeah.
Because him and I have done racing, and I've got like the sim rig at home that I'm like,
cool.
all right, like let's drop it. I don't have to go into the actual car and waste gas. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And my kids love it. Like, they're crazy. But like, yeah, it's such a fun hobby to have. And crafting
Absolutely.
survival, I find, is a because it's relatively new. and it's not slowing down at all.
Yeah.
That there are so many cool and different avenues within that specific genre that you can get into.
Oh, yeah.
That's my entire Steam library is just crafting survival games. So it's
Yeah.
funny that you said that.
A lot of mine too, for
That's
sure.
literally my entire thing. I'm like, I don't mind just being solo and building a house.
Yeah, like
It's
interior
soothing.
designing, your own medieval home or like whatever it is,
Yeah, it's funny. Shane Gillis plays Medieval Dynasty. And
Oh, cool.
There's a story where he talks about how he almost missed a big meeting. He was an hour late for a big meeting for a big movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he literally turned his phone on, and he had just woken up, and they're like, "Were you partying all night?" He's like, "No, I was playing video games all night. I'm sorry." So it's like it's the video game mentality and lifestyle is not something that's disappearing. There's people who make careers off of it at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Being somebody who does sounds and is like, I assume has worked on vocals and different accents and stuff. Do you ever see yourself like potentially trying to do voice acting?
That's been a big kind of career goal and career kind of point that I want to be in. Something that I could end up in a really nice role, like whether it's an animated show that I am a character, I play one of the voices or something. That's like a big time goal over. That'll be my whole life. I'm probably working towards that, but I'm also always trying to improve. So it's never too late, It's the internet's not going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, a big time, long-term goal.
Well, I was going to say, because there's a lot of independent video games
Yeah,
that are looking for music that they don't have to pay like crazy royalties to famous artists,
Yeah.
and who are always looking for voice acting, which is something that I always try to talk to when I'm speaking with other musicians, as like there's so many other different industries that we can utilize as musicians.
absolutely.
And that's one that I would love to see, is you could totally have a Plantkiller song in a new Doom, you know
Oh,
what I
that'd be
mean?
sweet.
Or something like that's so totally something that is doable, or along those lines of games, because they're always looking for music. So it's like thinking outside the box of how do we perform. Performing is great, but for the people who want not longevity, but to be able to make it a career as an artist, as a vocalist, there's so many different avenues, not just a musician, but as a person who's naturally gifted with their throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's voice acting is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's actually becoming a lot more predominant. You see a lot more famous actors doing it.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of because cartoons and animation is just not going anywhere.
No,
So-
Invincible, all the star-studded cast that they have, and what was that? There's Ark. That it's no longer. I don't think it's a thing anymore, but it was a little bit. They had a star-studded cast there too. All these anime shows that are becoming more popular. That's a huge genre that's going to be, I think, looking for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing to see what we grew up with playing video games, and they were very frowned upon, becoming one of the most utilized industries in the entire world because
Yeah.
of their animation skills and
Yeah.
the things that they're able to do. It's pretty captivating, and as a person who loves playing video games and has spoken with people who and dabbled into not graphic design but animation, the skill sets they have to animate anything is insane.
Oh, absolutely.
That's one thing I would love to dive into, is animation, to do animated music videos, because that's one thing I'd love to be able to do that's not cheesy, green screen
Yeah.
videos. You're
Yeah.
oh, it's dope, but it's comes out looking like Creed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I find it entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is your plans over the next year? What are your main goals for your bands and your music for the next year?
Well, we're going to be releasing, hopefully this year, most likely later in the year, Plantkiller's new album. And we want to play a few new shows, We don't want to overwhelm ourselves, and we still want to give Muscle Crow the ability to gain traction and grow and kind of get where they need to go. And And then same with Muscle Crow. I don't know if we're necessarily planning on a new EP yet, but we have a few new instrumentals that we're working on, and we want to keep doing the traditional. We sit down, watch a good, Russell Crowe movie, and write down some notes and have a couple beers. Just keeping it chill.
Can you please put a breakdown call from South Park? Just because it's
Fighting Around the
referenced.
World for sure.
Not even just like, oh my God, it's Muscle Crowe. Boom! And it hits you hard. If you had any advice for an aspiring vocalist, how to get their feet into the industry in any genre, what advice would you give them?
Right now, join groups, join online groups, whether it's discussions on like Reddit or Facebook, Instagram. Join pages and comment, make friends with people who are already maybe close to or in that zone, because it's the music scene's all about connections. It's all about who you're going to talk to next and where that can take you, and not necessarily just piggybacking, like you make friends with these new people and suddenly, oh, I didn't know you're also a huge fan of Star Wars. Wow, that's crazy. And then you guys are tight, and then next thing you know, you're writing deathcore songs together or something like that. But in my mind, anybody can scream. You just have to be willing to dedicate yourself to it, because it is difficult, but all it takes is the dedication over like just a significant amount of time. If you got no other hobbies going on, make weird noises. Yeah, people are going to laugh at you unless you got a car. Then you're just on your way to work, copy your favorite bands you want to sound like. That's what I did when I started practicing. I had a 6-disc CD changer in my Tacoma. And I would drive from Best Buy to Black Mountain every day listening to Carnifex, Tooth Grinder, Enterprise Earth, who else? Parkway Drive, Beartooth, like all these bands that I thought I wanted to sound like, but they actually ended up giving me my own foothold to get into a whole different genre altogether. Because that's actually the genre I didn't realize I was into, was deathcore. So, yeah.
That's awesome advice. It's funny that you gravitated towards a genre that you didn't initially think. And I think that's kind of a testament to your skill level too, right? Because you're constantly going to be trying to push yourself. So I think it's really cool advice. I want to thank you for your time and your story. It's been great to actually sit down, and usually we're so busy at shows that we never get to sit and talk and just sit down for like an hour. Yeah,
there's always somebody tapping you on the shoulder. Hey, I need to buy a shirt.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nice to sit down and chit chat and to like get to pick your mind, because in my eyes, you're probably one of the most gifted vocalists out of the Okanagan, if not one of BC.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You've pushed. I've like seeing your evolution to hearing where you are now is mind blowing and inspiring. It makes me like. I've always been like, I need to be more like Thor as a vocalist. Like the boys, I've told them many times, I'm like, that dude is just insane. So It's great to sit down and get to like pick your mind and how you approach music as a musician.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you
it very much.
And if you guys want to be a guest on the show, there will be a QR code at the bottom of the screen that you can scan. It'll take you to a folder or a file that you can fill out, and we will be in contact with you. I want to thank you once again, and I thank you guys. I'm Robb Eide, and this has been On Location Story Hive On Location Kelowna, and we'll see you guys next time.